Hi guys. It's working, right? Thank you very much for inviting me. My name is Tony HSHIEH. I'm going to talk about why there are standards. You may be wondering, what do you mean? What do I mean by standards, right? Okay, since I'm an accounting professor, I'm going to talk about accounting standards. All right, oh, boring, right? Because some of you are not, probably not from business school. And may not have studied accounting standards, accounting courses before. So it could be challenging for me try to explain everything in 10 minutes. So let me try to use some simple example and see if I can make this work. All right, try to work with me. First of all, simply speaking, accounting standard is what? Helping us to learn about what would be the company's performance. Okay? Taking you as example, when you are applying for jobs or internship, all right? People, employer that don't know you, then how would they be able to learn about your performance? How would they know student A is what? Is more suitable for my company, or student B is more qualified for my company? Normally, you will need to provide something so-called maybe a transcript. But since Professor Roster is talking about grading is not everything, right? So I script transcript, okay? Let's see, resume maybe is better, all right? It's not only about grades. So you will be able to provide everything about yourself. But what if your resume are not following formats or standards? Say, for example, you are not necessarily putting what? Your education, your working experiences, or your internship onto a very tightly good format to provide it to the employer. It will be very difficult for them to do comparison. Understand what I'm saying? Okay? So it will be very difficult to tell if student A is better than student B or the other way around. Okay? Same thing for a company, guys. Okay? For a company, if their financial statements, okay, which equal to your transcript or your resume, okay, or annual report, if they are not following something so-called accounting standards, okay, my definition of assets, income, liability are different from yours, okay? Or if I'm following different formats, all right, then it will be what? Very difficult to compare. Understand what I'm saying? Okay? So if we are following accounting standard, which basically will provide something so-called comparability, right? It will be easier to compare company A with company B, okay, and learn about their performance. Know which one I want to invest and learn from them and know what? Which one I want to do business with. Okay. But the problem is, what if company A and company B, they are coming from different countries? Understand what I'm saying? Okay? Especially in the past, guys, say for example, Japan may be following Japan standard. UK may be following a UK standard. US following US standard. So if you are trying to compare US company, UK company, Japanese company, you will be comparing orange with apple because they are what? Different kind of fruits. Or you're comparing dog with sheep because they are what? Different kind of animal. All right? So fortunately, guys, 10 years ago about, okay, not many years ago, 10 years ago about, then we have something so-called international accounting standards. Okay? In that regard, internationally, every country, every company, okay, no matter you're from Hong Kong, you're from US, okay, you're from Japan, you're from UK, you will be simply applying the same accounting standards. Okay? So it will be what? Easier to compare for us. All right? So it will provide us with a similar format, similar definition. Okay? So that's good. For not only for users. If we want to invest in a company, we can easily to apply the same accounting standards to see which company is performing better than the others. Okay? And also it will give us more option. In the past, think about it. You can only invest in one country, right? But now you can invest in all different countries, companies, as long as they are using the same accounting standards, all right? And also, I think you learn from your financial theory as well, if you do. Basically, you can also what? Minimize your risk. You can maximize your return because you diversify your portfolio, okay? From the company's point of view, also is a good thing because you will reduce your cost and also your time to prepare your financial statement. Only one standard instead of in the past, different standards. Okay, so I hope I have showed you the ideas of the importance of accounting standard and also how useful international accounting standard is. Okay, but the problem is, all right, uniform standards doesn't equal to uniform financial reporting. Okay, that is something we need to think about, all right? Because judging from our past development of accounting standard, the country may be from case law country, all right, following common law. Co-law country will follow different kind of law system, okay? Or when company, when they are raising their capital, basically you can what? Raise capital from either from your banks or from security market, all right? So they could have different incentive. So at the end of it, you may what? File your financial report very, very differently, okay? Very, very differently. So it's a big question mark, right? Very big question mark whether or not these two things are equal, okay? So very quickly, a very famous professor in accounting, Professor Ray Ball, he has done study, okay? What he finds is what? Basically, all right, even though they are all say I'm using the same standards, okay, international accounting standards, but when they are doing their implementation, you see very different results among countries, okay? Especially those case law countries like British, UK, America, Canadian, and also Australia. They are a company that are basically using the same implementation, but for co-law country, it would be very, very different. Okay, same thing applies to those Asian countries as well that we are familiar with. All right, for Hong Kong, Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand, even though we are all saying we are using IFRS, okay, but we exercise something that is very different from those co-law countries. Okay, we are more like co-law countries, sorry, but not the same as common case law country. So what does this tell you? Okay, we learn a very important lessons. Okay, the so-called uniform standards doesn't not necessarily equal to what? Uniform financial reporting. Okay, so when we say one thing on the surface, not necessarily when we implement it, it could be what? Could be the same. Okay, so what will be the takeaway, guys, for today in my talk? Hopefully, I have convinced you how importantly accounting standard is. Okay, why do we need accounting standards? All right. Secondly, is what? Why do we use IFRS, International Accounting Standard? And even though every company they are now saying I'm using International Financial Reporting Standards, but when they do implementation, okay, not necessarily they will be what? Implemented the same. Okay? So we see the issue here. In the past, when you say you are orange, I know you are orange. Okay? When you say you are apple, I know you are apple. So I know you are different. But now everybody say we are orange. But underneath actually it could be what? It could be apple. It could be pear. It could be something else. Okay? So that become a very important issue. Alright? So not everything, okay, not just accounting standard. Not everything could be what? As obviously as being shown on the surface. Okay, so over the time when we dealing with different things, you'll find that people say one thing, they may be what? Doing different thing. Okay? Secondly, I think this is most important one. What? Upholding standard is very important. I deliberately ignore a keyword. Actually, the keyword is what? Evenly. Okay? Upholding standard evenly is very important. Okay? Taking ourselves as an example, I think you are going through a final exam period now. Then you may be thinking about, all these subjects or exam provided by professor could be very difficult. All right? But we need to what? Uphold our standard, right? When you graduated with UST diploma, we need to know what? You are with very high standard, okay? Because we are the most employable student in Hong Kong. Remember that? We need to uphold the standard. Secondly, very recent event, okay? We need to uphold standard evenly, okay? If you forgot your luggage in the airport for air traffic security, we need to uphold the standard evenly. Hopefully that's your takeaway. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.